What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Flame078. Thank you for tuning in to today's video in preparation for Legacy, the latest season that's coming out for Apex Legends, literally on May 4th, 1 week away. I wanted to talk about the legends and why I gravitate towards certain legends for certain situations in my tier list, right? That's what we're talking about today, breaking everything down so that way you have all the information you need to figure out what legend you should be picking up in your next casual Apex Legend, or maybe not so casual Apex Legend session. So hope you guys enjoy. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I know we have a ton of new people coming in thanks to the YouTube shorts, which are coming more later today. Appreciate you all, but with Legacy right around the corner, you guys don't want to miss out. I'm telling you, I'm going to be covering a lot of content. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get to it. So as a casual gamer, I really think about a couple of things. What is my objective, right? It's weird to think of gaming like that, but sometimes with limited time you have to kind of narrow down what you want to accomplish, and for me that really helps in figuring out and narrowing down my expectations for sessions. So am I playing public, so I'm just having goofing off, or am I in ranked try hard mode? And certain legends help me for those certain situations, right? But before that, let's just get one legend out the way, because this is the easiest bucket for me. Legend to avoid, Rampart. And the reason I avoid her is I just don't like the way her kit is structured. I think Sheila should be 360. When it comes to her shields, I think they're great, but I find myself not using them effectively. Maybe I haven't given her a proper shot, but I feel like other defensive legends and other legends just fit me better, fit my playstyle better for the situations I'll be discussing. So honestly, she is my lowest pick. Like at the bottom tier every single time, whether it's ranked or anything. I just don't want to pick her. So right off the gate, there you go, boom, bucket done. But now switching over to a less kind of less little dramatic a bucket when it comes to casual play, public matches in particular, right? I think about two really important things for me. A lot of my ideas are centered around the solo queue experience in Apex Legends, due to my inconsistency in when I play. I can't really squad up like I want to, so I'm playing solo. So when it comes to public matches, I think about which legend will provide the value that I can be aggressive and hold my own against immeasurable odds. And who can provide support for my teammates, because I still want to provide that support. It is a team game, and it's a team that wins the matches, not just one person, unless you drop in solo. So those are the top tier things that I kind of think about in that regard. So when it comes to holding my own, just being able to firefight effectively, I think Fuse, Pathfinder, and Caustic are kind of like my go-tos in that regard. No particular order, by the way. This is just kind of me just thinking of them, because their kits allow me to hold stuff with Caustic. The gas is very useful, even though with the nerf it's kind of less of a deterrent. Pathfinder for the mobility, the grapple is always great. I feel like I worked really hard to kind of be adept with the grapple, so to speak. And Fuse, the newest legend, provides a kit that can be very spammy. The cluster grenades, the multitude of grenades you can carry allow me to kind of deter enemies, fend off enemies in that regard. So I think that's why I like using them when it comes to like the aggro playstyle, and I can hold my own, which is the biggest thing. And they still provide that sense of squad utility, because Pathfinder with the zipline, obviously you can get your teammates to a better position. Caustic can provide great cover for recovery and holding stuff down. Fuse is the only one out there that doesn't really provide much in terms of squad benefits, but in point one, Fuse is pretty good. Now when it comes to strictly point two, and less of point one, I like to gravitate towards Mirage and a Lifeline, simply because they're not that strong that will allow me to hold my own. If I'm caught in a 1v3 situation, Mirage is a little bit better thanks to the decoys, escape that has gotten a lot better. His buffs have helped him a lot. But Mirage is great because of that cloaked, recovery that is super powerful, and it's really fun. It allows you to get some cheeky revives, so it's really good. Lifeline's ability to res and still be able to be in the fight is top tier. I think is one of the greatest improvements they've done to her. But the fact that her ultimate is still, I think, a useless care package just makes her not that viable for me in different levels of play. But, that res is important. It provides that squad value. So in point 2, these are my top legends for that. And then lastly, I think I want to go with a Loba, simply because Loba allows me to focus on, I can fight pretty adequately with her. Her hitbox is pretty good. Her bracelet gets me out of tough situations, but her black market is where the value is. Allows my teammates to gear up and myself to gear up. So if I'm looking for a particular gun, or a particular loadout, particular attachment, black market everywhere, right? Get those ultimate accelerants, boom, spam it all over the place. So I find value in that because sometimes I want to work on improving on a gun. I think we've talked about it on this channel. The only way to improve with guns is by using them. So Loba is great in that regard. So that's why I kind of pick her in my casual pickup. So any of these legends, when you're just going in, have a stress-free, quote unquote stress-free Apex night, these are my go-to. These are my recommendations. Now, moving on to ranked. Now, for me, ranked is a pain of my existence, working really hard. It can be very frustrating, especially once you get to platinum. I've talked about this on this channel. Please make sure to check out those videos. Highly recommend them. But ranked, I like to break down in these two kind of categories. Are you playing ranked with buddies, or you're playing ranked by yourself? Because that will inform the decision you have to make in terms of legend pick. When it comes to having a squad, the biggest thing that any legend will provide is communication. Simply put, if you can effectively have coordination with your team, their legend is that more powerful. So for me, 3 legends stick out when it comes to who do I want to be able to tell my teammates how to maneuver when I'm using them. And that is Crypto, Horizon, and Revenant. These legends in particular, for me, I've been having success when I've played with buddies, simply because I can coordinate with my teammates. For example, EMP push with Crypto, or letting them know, hey, I'm in drone, don't engage yet, right? This idea that I can be safely and comfortably in my drone to do what I need to do, scan beacons, scan banners, all that good stuff. You can do that effectively as long as you have open communication with your squad. I think that's why Crypto's up there. I enjoy Crypto as a solo queue player, and I think any of these legends work as a solo queue experience, so don't get me wrong. So you can consider this tier list, as one big bucket of legends to choose from for either experience, but these are just the breakdowns of why they're in their respective buckets. Horizon, same thing. You want your black hole to be coordinated as much as possible to capitalize on the movement that is being restricted on your enemies. And when it comes to Revenant pushes, you have a couple of different ways you can use that Rev push to great lengths to be very effective, to get on top of a third party and maybe bail out if worst case scenario. So I think that's where the open line of communication comes strongly with any of these legends. You just want to be able to effectively know what's going on when you're doing these pushes. Now, that pretty much leaves all these wonderful legends right here for the solo experience. For me, it used to be just 3 legends, but now all these legends I personally find viable. And the biggest takeaway that I'm talking about in the ranked solo queues experience is sort of similar to what I expect from my casual experience. Is a legend that I can hold my own, in fights, and also provide value to my teammates. And the difference here is the providing value for my teammates is I don't have to really have a line of communication with them to let them know how to maneuver certain situations, because it's kind of just instinctive and it's kind of easy to follow. For example, it's easier to coordinate, in my opinion, a jump pad push than a rev push, because rev push, ultimately the placement is how the totem distance and whatnot, versus a jump pad is you're just trying to get into the fight. So those are the key things that I thought about when putting these legends in this category. Starting with Watson, the biggest thing, she's pretty self-explanatory. You know, people should understand if you have a Watson on your team, it's about end game. It's about hunkering down. It's about finding the placement where you should go for the end game of a match, right? As you level up and get rank up, that's what it comes about. So Watson's a great way to start working on predicting where the circle is going to be, knowing where to put yourself as you understand where these circles are, right? So that's where Watson's value, and that's why you see her in top tier play, is because of that. Wraith kind of has the opposite, where it's less passive, more aggressive. You'll be able to go into fights with the portal or out of fights, be able to do great plays to recover a down teammate, for example. And the fact that her hitbox is still pretty hard to hit is a great way for you to have a kind of aggro legend at your disposal when you're playing ranked as a solo queue player. The other legends, for example, are just great in utility. When it comes to Bloodhound, for example, and Gibraltar, the Dome is super effective to providing cover. The scan for Bloodhound that they do allows you to give battle information to your teammates, and you don't really have to say anything. You just gotta let them know, scan, and be like, Mark, be like, all right, we got a team behind us, you gotta watch out, or something like that, right? And the ultimate mobility that you get from, the going into the hunt mode is great. Allows you to have the advantage in those engagements by yourself and hold yourself to your own level when in those fights. Same thing with Bangalore. I like to point out she's great utility for cover, smokes, for zoning enemy teams. You can just place that, and it's kind of self-explanatory. You don't have to tell your teammates, hey, you guys got to get out, because you have a little bit of a time before everything goes off for your teammates to get out of there if you're trying to zone out. So overall, that's what's great about her. Octane, for me, it's a mixture of being able to be aggressive. I've been able to rack up a lot of kills now with Octane thanks to his recent buffs and just being able to use the passive heal and the double jump to great lengths. I think that's why Octane, for me, has been a lot of fun recently to use him in ranked as a solo queue player. And then again, all this provides is just legends that you should go to, that you can hold yourself to and hold yourself kind of stable in firefights, and just provide a little bit of utility to a certain degree, into a certain way for your teammates, because at the end of the day, that's how you're going to get far in ranked, is playing together. So whether you're playing coordinated with open mic or solo queue and just pings, that's super important regardless. So in general, these are my legends that I would kind of alternate to in ranked play, at least in season 8. We're going to have to wait and see if that changes. I wonder where Valkyrie will fall into play in season Legacy. We're going to have to find out, but I hope this helps. I hope this informs you of kind of who to pick in your scenarios. Let me know in the comment section down below what are your buckets, what are your kind of important things that you think about in your casual Apex experience. And by what I mean by casual, I mean just like, hey, you're playing Apex for your 2 hours, whether it be ranked or just pubs. Like what are some of the things that are important to you and inform your decisions on, say, picking what legend. I'd love to have a conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I hope this helps. More content on the way, more advices breaking down these legends more in depth, quote unquote, in my YouTube short series coming very, very soon. So thanks again. I'll catch you guys real soon. My name is Flame078, and until the next one, adios.